Thanks for checking out the video, everyone. Before we start the video in earnest, I just want to remind everybody that we have 2 days left. On May 1st, I will be announcing the winner of the hardcover version of the basic edition rules for my game, Peace the RPG. I want to thank everyone who has subscribed thus far, but if you have not, please go to peacetherpg.com, subscribe, and you will be entered to win a hardcover copy of the basic rules. We still have some subscribers who have subscribed to the channel but haven't confirmed their subscription, so I won't be able to send any notification out to those subscribers. So if you have subscribed, please check your emails for the confirmation email so that you'll finish the subscription process. Thanks a lot again, and on to the video. Hello, welcome to Confessions of a Frustrated Game Master. I am Robert, the narrator, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Confessions. This episode of Confessions, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about 5 of the lessons I've learned during this creative process for my game. And you'll find that what I have learned is applicable all throughout life. I dare say it's applicable to you when you're running your game as a game master, maybe sometimes as a player. So what you learn creatively, these lessons that I've learned can apply to a lot of different areas. Most importantly, of course, when you are playing tabletop role-playing games, because that's what this is a channel about. So these lessons I've learned over the last, I would say, 6 months. That is how long I have been sharing my tabletop role-playing game, Peace the RPG, with friends outside of my local group who were helping me playtest. As I geared up to bringing the game to life using Kickstarter, I have learned a couple of things. So let's get started with the list. So number 1. Now, with number 1, I'm kind of cheating. This lesson I learned many years ago. 15, 16, 20 years ago, I knew this. So I'm kind of cheating. I really didn't pick this lesson up when I started this great creative process. But some people need to hear it, because watching other entertainment, like reading blogs, listening to podcasts, listening to other YouTube channels across all types of industries, not just the tabletop role-playing game industry, a lot of people seem to need to hear this, and it's really funny to me that a lot of people don't know this. But essentially, the first lesson is nothing has a 100% approval. There is nothing in the world that 100% of individuals enjoy. There are people, a lot of them, actually my fiance is one of them, for example, who doesn't like water or the taste of water, and you need water to live. So if water doesn't have a 100% approval, how could it be that something that you create should have a 100% approval? Obviously, sometimes when people criticize your work, especially if they're being particularly harsh, it could be hurtful, but it definitely should not be surprising. And as I said, I've known this for a while. I certainly did not learn this lesson in 6 months, but it seems like there are a lot of creatives out there who need to realize that. There's nothing in life that has a 100% approval rating. Maybe oxygen, but water is required to live, and there are people who don't like water. Dungeons and Dragons, the progenitor of our entire hobby, has several people out there who don't like it. So there is nothing out there that has a 100% approval. I think a lot of creatives need to hear that. So what is the number 2 lesson I've learned doing this really amazing creative process? People will not communicate effectively. This is probably my biggest issue when I'm being creative, is the lack of communication. As a game master, one of my game master expectations, for example, is that if you are not going to show up for a particular session All I ask is that you contact me to let me know that you won't show up. I don't like interrogating adults. I don't like interrogating anyone that I don't have to interrogate. So I'm definitely not going to ask you why you're not showing up for my game. But out of practicality, I just ask that if you're not going to show up, contact me, because if enough people don't show up, then that means that the game may not happen. Folks could have made other plans. So it really is just a simple courtesy, and it really, really frustrates me when people don't effectively communicate. Now, as we all know, people don't communicate for several reasons. They may have bad news for you and don't want to give it to you. They're trying to spare your feelings, which is, I guess, a noble gesture, or just because they are unprofessional or are not really great at communicating and really are apathetic and could care less. And any creative process, when you involve other people, you really have to prepare yourself for ineffective communications. You really have to prepare yourself. I have to get used to the idea that you will contact someone and they will ignore your communication as though you are mortal enemies. It's the craziest thing. People that you were communicating with in a friendly fashion on a social network just hours prior, you'll send them a message and they will completely ignore your message like you are mortal enemies. It is the craziest thing that I've ever seen. But as someone who is creating any type of work that involves other individuals, you have to prepare yourself. That is a lesson I've learned. Again, cheating a little bit. I've already known that people don't like to communicate, especially when they have bad news for you, but it doesn't make it any less frustrating. So let's move on to number 3 and number 4. Do you want to do number 3 first, obviously, but this is what I call the bizarro twins of the lessons that I have learned during this really fun creative process. It is not without its issues, but obviously it really drives me whenever I'm doing something creative. So acquaintances that you have supported in the past, who you have a friendly, casual relationship with, cannot be counted on to support your work. And essentially, this extends to everything. You may be surprised that individuals that you could count on, that you have supported in the past, will not share support with you when you are doing your thing. So, for example, if you are in a role-playing group and you have multiple game masters, and let's say another game master wants to run something that you would really enjoy, but everyone else is lukewarm, if you get that game master's back and help him and support him in driving interest to the rest of the players in the group, and you finally have an opportunity to test that game, there is no guarantee that that game master friend is going to do the same with you when you want to run a game that folks in the group may be a little lukewarm about. But the rule as a creative that you should follow is no one owes you anything, no matter how congenial, friendly your relationship has been prior. No one owes you anything. And I think a lot of people who you know will show you that they don't owe you anything by not giving you the same level of support that they previously may have enjoyed from you. So you just have to keep that in the back of your mind. Don't let it get you down. Keep going forward. But that is something that is a fact of life, unfortunately, when you're doing anything in the creative spaces. Now, the reason that I called this the Bizarro Twins number 3 and 4 is because something that I have really been blown away by is the fact that strangers who I had even a more casual acquaintance with than acquaintances, or individuals who I didn't know at all, who really enjoyed my work, have been supporting me like an honored family member. So you may be disappointed by the fact that individuals who you know that you've given support to in the past may not be there for you. Hopefully, and I think that any creative endeavor will definitely, of any quality, will notice that strangers will give you the support that you think you earned from other individuals who you have a little bit longer of a relationship with. So it really will blow you away. And I've been blown away by the fact that individuals in the industry, in the hobby, who I weren't super familiar with, have been incredibly gracious, incredibly helpful, and I've been humbled by that amazing support I've had. I don't want to mention any names now because I wasn't prepared to do so, but I will definitely, as we get a little bit further in the process. I'm going to name all of the incredible individuals who have been super supportive of this creative process, and I'm going to give them a shout out because they definitely deserve it for being so awesome. So that is really amazing and really humbling, and I just love the support that I've gotten from individuals who I didn't expect to get support from. And number 5, the last lesson that I've learned from this amazing journey that I've been on, 16 or so years long at this point, but really being public facing, as I said, has only been about half a year. If you are the type of person who is open to learning lessons, you will walk away from creative processes wiser, stronger, and hopefully more grounded than when you started. I know that right now, no matter what happens with this creative endeavor that I have embarked on, I am wiser, I am stronger, and I am definitely more grounded than when I started. And that is an incredible benefit or reward for delving into putting your creativity out there. So no matter how much you want everyone, 110% of people to love your work, or no matter how bad or tricky communication can be, or the fact that individuals who you thought you could count on may not be there for you, and you will be wiser and stronger, and you'll have the tools to adjust so that those pitfalls won't affect you. I guarantee it, if you are the type of individual who is open to learning and you're not a super stubborn person, which I would like to think I am not. So this journey, as short as it has been incredible. Hopefully it will only continue in a positive direction. And I would like to thank everyone thus far who has joined me on this journey with my tabletop role-playing game piece and with my YouTube channel, Confessions of a Frustrated Game Master. So folks, those are the 5 lessons that I have learned whenever you're doing something creative. And as I said, you can, as you probably have picked up on, you can apply these lessons to anything creatively you're doing, especially the stuff that we are doing in our beloved tabletop role-playing game hobby. Please tell me in the description below if you have endeavored to create something. Have you picked up on any of these lessons that I have learned, any modifications that you would make to these lessons that I feel that I've picked up on, or anything that I missed? Please let me know in the description below. So thank you very much for checking out this video. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever and wherever you're watching this video. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.